They say it takes about 6 months to get accustomed to your surroundings when you're in Los Angeles, to adapt to the lifestyle from wherever you come from. Which might be true if you're coming in from New York or Atlanta or another big city. But if you live in Iowa, it might take a little bit longer. Here are some of the reasons why. The first thing that I will say about moving out to Los Angeles that I didn't think I would miss are grocery stores. Of course, Los Angeles has their own grocery stores, but I didn't really realize how spoiled we were in the Midwest to have such an array of farm to table, farm fresh, everything, especially meat. Meat in Los Angeles is nasty. It's no wonder that everybody is a vegan or a vegetarian because that's all that's edible. The cost of meat in Los Angeles is much more expensive than it is in Iowa because in Iowa, it doesn't have to be shipped to you. It's just right there. If you live in Los Angeles and you found a good place to buy your meat that isn't super expensive, please let me know because I'm currently buying mine at Target. Like I said, I was pretty spoiled in Iowa not ever having to look at the organic labels or anything like that. The chicken out here is so pumped full of hormones that you have to look for that organic label and you have to pay extra for it. I'm now ordering my meat from Omaha Steaks just to get it back on the Midwest train. So if you still live in the Midwest, do not take the meat there for granted. Moving on, the second thing that I miss about Iowa is the people. There is a saying in Iowa that I never understood while I lived there called Iowa nice. It's basically the notion that everyone from Iowa is super nice, they will help you out if you are stranded on the side of the road, etc., etc. To a point, that's true, but I never thought that we were overly nice until I moved out to Los Angeles. In the Midwest, we like to strike up conversations with strangers randomly while we're in line at the grocery store or at the bank or at the post office. It's just a thing that we do. I never really thought that I would miss it. In fact, a lot of people might say that they're pretty annoyed when strangers try to have a conversation with them. In Los Angeles, not only does that not happen, but it's also frowned upon. I was in line at Target and I made the mistake of telling somebody that I liked her sweatshirt. This girl looked at me like I rammed my cart into her. She was so offended and flabbergasted that I tried to talk to her out of nowhere, and it was really jarring for me. Not only is it a no-no to talk to the strangers in Los Angeles, they also consider it a little taboo if you acknowledge their existence. This is one of the main things that upset me when I first moved out here. In fact, I got irrationally upset at someone in the grocery store my second week that I was here. You'll witness a lot of mental breakdowns when you go to Los Angeles. This was mine. I was in Vons, which is a grocery store out here, and I was talking to my boyfriend about how I was having a really hard time adapting. And while I was venting to him, I noticed this lady off to the side of us, just staring at us. I don't know who this lady was, and I am really sorry that you happened to get the brunt of my anger that day, but I whipped around and I looked at her and I said, "Do you need something?" And she goes, "I just needed past you." And I was like, "You can say excuse me." I was so mad. I was so mad, and I don't know who you are, and you're probably never gonna see this video, but I'm sorry. I'm not sorry for what I said. I didn't need to yell at you. But also, you should learn excuse me because those are very powerful words. We need to use our words. I'm getting re-mad at this, so I just need to drop it. Next up are gas stations. Now you might be thinking, Patricia, nobody cares about a gas station. They're all gross and you just kind of gotta get in and get out. That's not true. That's not true. In the Midwest, we have so many gas stations and they are wonderful. For example, Love's. I love Love's. There are Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh stations. The only way I can think to describe a gas station in Los Angeles. You know those Truth commercials where someone tries to buy cigarettes and the cashier's like, "It's not enough," and they pull out their teeth? Yep, that sums it up. That's what a gas station is in Los Angeles. Every single one of them is just dingy, kind of sketchy. You really don't want to be in them. Some of them have bars on the windows. The only way I can think to really show you the juxtaposition about Iowa gas stations versus LA gas stations is with visual aids. So I'm gonna pop them up on the screen right now. This is a Los Angeles gas station, and this is an Iowa gas station. Los Angeles, Iowa, Los Angeles, Iowa. And I know it's like, who cares about a gas station? Apparently I do, because I miss them so much. I think the reason that we take our gas stations kind of seriously in the Midwest is because we have a lot of truckers going through, right? We're flyover states, we're also drive-through states. So we need to have really good gas stations. We're gonna veer off into a different direction, which is a great segue. Which is also a great segue, because a segue is something you drive on. No, I'm not saying that the traffic is worse. Of course, I expected the traffic to be worse. The next thing I miss about Iowa is their roads make sense. I don't know who designed the freeway in Los Angeles or roads in general, but they're just kind of atrocious. If you're moving to Los Angeles and you're bringing a car, make sure that that car does a really good job, has a full 180 turn, because you're gonna be doing a lot of U-turns in Los Angeles. It seems like every establishment you go into, you're going to have to pull at least one U-turn to get into. I'm not sure why they designed it like that. It seems like it would be counterintuitive with how much traffic they have in the area, but man, they don't like their straight lines. And the last thing that I did not know I would miss while moving out of the Midwest is the humidity. I always thought that I would be really excited to leave the Midwest because I wouldn't spend my summer months being sticky and feeling gross all of the time. What I didn't realize is that all of that humidity and moisture was protecting my skin. Something else I didn't realize is how much the pollution affects your skin. I remember being at my desk one day and looking down at my hands while I was typing and going, when did I get so old? Because my hands just looked cracked and leathery and disgusting, and I wasn't outside all of the time in the sun because, girl, you know I burn. I was indoors, but the pollution was just affecting me so much. So if you're living in the Midwest and you're planning on moving to Los Angeles, just know that your skincare routine will have to change. I'll give you a little bit of a head start by putting 2 new moisturizers that I found since moving to Los Angeles in the description below. And that concludes my video about what I missed from the Midwest after moving to Los Angeles. Did you agree with this list? Drop a comment below. Also, if you're a fellow Midwesterner and I missed anything on my list, go ahead and drop that below as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. LA is its own beast. That's an understatement.